All right, today we're going to dive into a strategy that's, well, it's fascinatingly simple, but also incredibly powerful, especially if you use movies to get better at English. It's called the 2-second echo.
So, let me ask you a question. Do you learn English with movies and TV shows? I mean, of course you do, right? It's probably one of the best ways to just immerse yourself. You get to hear natural accents, pick up on slang, and really feel the culture.
But here's the thing, think about it for a second. When you have those subtitles on, are you actually listening? Or have your eyes just completely taken over, turning what's supposed to be a listening lesson into, a speed reading exercise?
And that right there is what we call the subtitle trap. It's this thing that happens without us even realizing it. Our brains, they always want the easiest route. So they just default to reading the text on the screen and totally bypass the one skill we're actually trying to build, listening.
And this is the classic dilemma, right? On one hand, you use the normal subtitles and whoops, you're not really listening anymore. But then you turn them off and oh my gosh, you can be so frustrating. You miss huge chunks of what they're saying, you're constantly pausing and rewinding. It's just not efficient, and let's be honest, it's not very fun either. So what's the middle ground here? How can we get that little bit of help we need without falling right back into the reading trap? Well, there's a really clever solution, and it's called the 2-second echo.
So, what is this thing? It's actually super simple. It's a strategy where you just add a 2-second delay to the subtitles. That's it. It sounds like a tiny change, but what it does is it forces your brain to deal with the audio first. The text becomes a backup, not the main event. Just 2 seconds. Seriously, that tiny little gap is the secret sauce. It's just long enough to make you process what you heard, but not so long that you get totally lost or frustrated before the text pops up to help you out. It creates this perfect little window for active listening.
Okay, so how does such a small change actually manage to retrain your brain? Let's break down the mechanics here, how it builds a whole new, much more effective learning habit. It all boils down to 4 really simple steps. First, you hear the dialogue, and you have no choice but to listen. Like, really listen. That's your only job. Second, your brain has to try and figure out what it just heard, all on its own. Then, step 3, the subtitle appears, and you use it to confirm what you thought you heard or to fill in the blanks. And finally, you connect the sounds you heard to the words you're now seeing. Boom. That's how you lock in that vocabulary and pronunciation.
What this does is it creates this amazing delayed feedback loop. Think about it this way. Subtitles are no longer a crutch that you're leaning on for the entire movie. Instead, they become a safety net. They're just there to catch you if you fall. And that completely changes your relationship with them. And more importantly, how you learn.
All right, so we know how it works, but what's the real payoff? What are the results? Let's get into why this method is just so much more effective. The benefits here are, well, they're super clear. First off, it massively enhances your listening skills, because you have to listen first. It helps you build vocabulary way more effectively by actually connecting the sounds to the words. And maybe most importantly, it kind of mimics the flow of a real conversation where, there are no subtitles in real life. All of this makes the whole thing so much more engaging, while still giving you that safety net for those really tricky fast-talking parts. And that really brings us to the big question, doesn't it? With this one simple 2-second tweak, are you ready to stop just reading your movies and start truly listening to them? It might just be the thing that turns your next movie night into the best language lesson you've ever had.